Hey girl, welcome to Finding My Best Self, the podcast where it's totally okay to show up in your leggings and messy bun, because let's be real, that's our uniform here. The only rule is to be unapologetically yourself.
And I'm Mandi, and joining me is Pam, the queen of finding the silver linings. We're here to share laughs, tears, and everything in between. Think of us as your new best friends with some stories to tell and wisdom to share.
From face palms to victories, we're diving into the journey of self-discovery, wellness, and what it means to truly embrace who you are. So whether you're conquering the world or just trying to find your phone in the black hole, purse, we've got you covered.
Because here it's all about encouraging you to lace up those sneakers, or don't, we're not judging, and join us as we explore what it truly means to own your confidence and find your best self.
So pour yourself a cup of coffee or a glass of wine and let's get into it. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Finding My Best Self podcast. This week you have me and Mandi. I know, yay, probably unexpectedly, last week y'all got 2 interviews back to back. Life caught up with us and things got a bit crazy, so we weren't able to get a duo in. However, we're back and you guys have us today. So we wanted to start off today with some exciting news about MBS Fit Co. So, because we have a lot of really exciting new things coming up, we're ready to share 2 of those things. There's more, but we're going to share 2 for sure. The first thing being, we are officially on TikTok Shop, which is really exciting for us. And so here's what's super cool. If you are on TikTok, go and find us at MBS Fit Co. And what we're noticing is that TikTok is offering some people some really big coupons. So if you have never seen our website, if you've never seen our shop, or if you've been on the fence about purchasing, go check it out. And whenever you go into our shop from our TikTok account, it'll say in red if you have a coupon offer. I know, like, I personally, it's telling me I could get 40% off. My husband pulled it up and it shows he could get like 52% off. So everybody's coupon amounts are different. So it's really big amounts. So go check it out. So the next really exciting update that we have is that we are preparing for our spring collection, which is so exciting. So exciting. We've been working the last few days on getting all of the pieces together that we're going to order as samples so we can check them out. So find us on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. Again, everything is at MBS Fit Co. We're going to be posting over the next couple of days this week, because you guys are going to be watching this episode today, Thursday, the 25th. So you may have seen some posts already, but let us know what you would like to see in the next collection, because we're curious. We have several options. We're going to narrow it down to 3, because like we said before, all of our collections are going to come out in 3 pieces at a time. But we want your feedback, because our brand is all about you. It's not about us and what we want to see. It's what you guys want to see. We're here to have all of the pieces and all the luxury athleisure that is all about you guys. So give us some feedback. Let us know what you want to see, because we'll have those pieces in pretty soon and we'll start sharing what they are and get some more feedback from y'all. Mandi, is there anything you want to add?
They are going to be amazing. I think it's going to be so hard to narrow it down, because everything is just so luxurious, and I hope it just fits just like everything else that we have provided. And I'm just super excited because there might be some colors in there too. So I'm excited.
Yeah, you said it. I was going to tell. I'm so excited about the colors, y'all.
Yes.
So excited about the colors. We're definitely bringing, because all of our first colors were very wintry,
neutral,
neutral colors, and we are going full on spring, and we are going to throw all kind of color into the mix this time. So I know we're super pumped about that. Really, really pumped about that. So TikTok Shop, and come find us on Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok, and give us some feedback about what pieces you guys would like to see in the next collection. So today's episode. This is something that Mandi and I are both experiencing pretty heavily right now, and have been over the last week or two. We've had a lot of conversations about this, and this is really what this podcast is all about. Whenever we do our duos, we're really just sharing what we're going through personally, and that's, it's not about anything. Sometimes it might be about things from the past and that we've already learned and grown through. But a lot of times it's really, whenever we talk and we're like, what are we going to podcast about? It is, what are we feeling right now? Like, because chances are, if we're feeling things or thinking things,
Hmm.
a lot of other people are too. And we just want to share with you guys, and just letting you know that you're not alone, right? Is that, we're all human and we all have these thoughts and feelings in different days or times of the month, or in different times of our lives and different periods. So, we were going to talk today about just channeling your inner power and doing what makes you feel alive, and how to express that to other people in your lives. So, I guess I'll kind of kick things off with, we don't ever want to have anything in our life that makes us feel small or not worthy. And sometimes those things come up, and it's just kind of sorting through, I guess, exactly where those feelings are coming from, right?
Hmm.
Whether it is some sort of transitional phase that we're going through in life, or whether it is maybe in a relationship that, there are things, and whether it is your personal at home relationship or relationship with friends or family members, that, you are being pulled away from your own power and what makes you feel good and alive.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's interesting because it's really like our therapy session when we get on this podcast, because most of the time it is things that we're either, like you said, have experienced or definitely in. And I feel like just in this past week, we are like in the trenches. So we are like in survival mode at the time, because for me personally, it's transitions everywhere. And so I've really been struggling with it lately. And I think a lot of it is exactly that. It's pulling me out of my comfort zone, what I am used to, but also I don't want to lose what is for me or my purpose or where I'm supposed to go. So I have this balancing act that I've been trying to do, that trying to trust and know that I'm being guided and led in the right direction, but also having to kind of face some of these things that I just have to sit with. And that's tough sometimes, because you really have to dig deep and allow yourself to feel, and not, just put it under the rug again, or just continuously act like everything's fine. Because I feel like as women, we're very much like, oh, how are you doing? Oh, I'm fine. It's like half the time we are not fine. We are a hot ball of mess and emotions, and we're just having to take it day by day. And I feel like a lot of the times women will just kind of sugarcoat things just to not have to deal with it. And so I think a
Mhm.
lot of around this time where you're really starting to feel those emotions, and that it's okay just to kind of sit and be in it and journal or talk to someone. And I feel like that for us lately, it's just been this strong pull of like what our own desires are, but also everything that's happening in life, and just trying to figure out how to not lose that in the midst of transition, change, and things like that. So it's definitely been real. It's been real.
Yeah. So, I know one thing that I used to struggle with when I would start having all of these thoughts and feelings that would creep up out of nowhere, right? And I'm like, why? Where's this coming from? Why am I
Hmm.
having these thoughts? Like, everything's been good, and all of a sudden I'm having all these thoughts. And so I would just try to suppress them and push them
Mm.
down. And then, like you said, people are like, what's wrong? I'm like, I'm good. I'm fine. It's okay. And again, like you said, your way of just pushing them to the side or sweeping them under the rug and just trying to let them go. And what that does is it creates anxiety, it
Mm-hmm.
creates stress, it creates depression, and then we just spiral from there. And so, something that I have learned and that I think I have learned to do really well is to acknowledge my feelings and to sit with them, like truly sit with them and acknowledge them and know that it's okay to have those feelings, but at the same time, working through them to understand in my best ability where those feelings are coming from
Mm-hmm.
and how to be able to express those feelings to someone else. Because I can have all of these thoughts, and we've talked about this, is that when those
Mm-hmm.
thoughts come, it all happens so fast, right? And the thoughts go from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next. And it's how can I even verbalize this to
Mm-hmm.
someone if I can't even keep up with my own thoughts? And that
Yeah.
is what I mean whenever I say sit with those thoughts, because most of the time, a lot of those thoughts are coming from self doubt, or you're causing them in your you are causing those thoughts,
Mm-hmm.
and you may not realize it at first. It's something that is from your subconscious that's coming up, whereas the other thoughts may be something that is being brought upon you, where you're feeling that you're being pushed away from something that you felt aligned with, or that made you feel aligned, or just something that's pushing you away from your inner power. And so I know that that was something that recently came up for me. For Mandi, she's in this huge transitional phase in her life, and it's the constant movement of and trying to keep up with everything that's changing and transitioning in her life. And for me, I guess it's a little bit of that, because there is a lot of change. But for me, it is that I know that there's a place that I've come from, and I know that there's a place that I want to go to,
Mm-hmm.
and where I'm growing to, and my inner power in doing what makes me feel alive, and what makes me so passionate. And it has been over the last 2 years, and still is for me, just making sure that every person that is in my life right now aligns with that,
Mm-hmm.
is there to continue to grow with me to that next level where I'm wanting to go. And it comes down to being able to express those feelings of worry or anxiety or resistance that you're feeling. Right. And so it's just really being able to sit with those
Mm-hmm.
and express them.
Yeah, that's the hardest part. And I mean, obviously, we've had this conversation too, where I'm just like, I know how I feel, but I can't put the words to it. And so it's so hard because if I can't even express it, then no one else around me is going to even understand why I'm crying for no reason or just stressed or worried and, have anxiety. And so going into prayer or just scripture like that has been helpful to me because I know anywhere that I have fear or anxiety, that's not coming from a good place. So,
Mhm.
just trying to transition that thought process. But like you said, sitting with it. And I feel like that's why I'm talking to myself right now that I really do need to journal because I do feel like because we've talked about this too where it's so much easier to write something down than to verbally say it. And so that's why like journaling is such a powerful tool to use because you can literally break down and just write and then kind of break down where your thoughts are and say, oh, okay, well maybe this is what I'm trying to say or this is how I'm trying to say it.
Mhm.
And it's just that healing process that I feel like a lot of us have to go through whenever we have different things going in our lives, and especially whenever you can feel just something like you said is tugging and you have to kind of acknowledge it just to grow or to come back from or to move forward. So it's
Mhm.
challenging, and I feel like you go through this often in some form of your life at some point, whether it's like you said, relationships or just life in general. But it's definitely something that if you don't address it, then it just kind of snowballs. And that's whenever we find ourselves in the depression, anxiety, fears, worry, all of that. And that's just something that I know a lot of us are trying to avoid.
Yeah. But Mandy, I know like for you, and I know I've come to you plenty of times and like talked to things out with you. But I mean, even just like the other day, whenever I talked to you and you were like, I don't know. And then you would say something, you'd be like, I don't know. And then you would say something
My
else and you're
favorite
like,
phase.
I don't even know how to say like, and so, but even just getting, I mean, and I hope that I did anyway,
Mm-hmm.
just being able to say those things out loud sometimes, even if a lot of what you're saying is, I don't know,
Rambling.
and you feel like you're rambling and stuff, even
Yeah.
just getting it out
Yeah.
sometimes helps. So that's why, again, it's so important to not always say, oh, yeah, I'm good.
I'm
I'm
fine.
good. I'm
Mm-hmm.
fine. Don't say that you're fine when you have that person that you trust. When
Mm-hmm.
there's that person that you truly care about and you know that you can open up to them and they're not going to judge you and they're going to
Mm-hmm.
be open, whether it's just you want that person that's just going to listen or someone who's going to help you work through those thoughts. Be open to talking to someone.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe take the time to collect your thoughts and make sure that, that you really have collected everything before you say something, but don't be scared to talk and to get those emotions out. You know, you have to be honest with yourself when you're going through a growth period, right? And you just have to it all goes back to, like I said in the very beginning, it's just acknowledging it and not being scared of it. Because I think a lot of times, I know I used to, when I would start getting those feelings, I would get scared. And again, it's that thought of like, what the heck is this? Like, and whether it was a place of fear or whether it was a place of frustration or
Mm-hmm.
whether it was a place of, I don't know, I
Well,
guess
just you just don't understand. Because you're just
understand.
like everything's fine. Like, why am I starting to feel like that? And that's exactly how I've been feeling. I'm like, literally everything is great, but I have like these feelings that just keep coming up. And I feel like if I don't acknowledge it, it's just going to build and then cause other issues in other areas of my life. So
Yeah.
it really is just sitting with it and just knowing like,
Right.
okay, this is valid. I have to address this and figure out why. Or not necessarily why, because we've talked about that too, but just verbalizing or writing it down. That way you at least know, like, okay, this is how I'm feeling. And, yes, all these things are happening, but it's just giving it that space to just be known. That way you're not just, bottling it in.
This episode is brought to you by MBS Fit Co. Excitement is in the air at MBS Fit Co. as we prepare for our upcoming launch. We're introducing a line of premium activewear designed to seamlessly fit into both your workout routines and daily life. Our versatile collection is perfect for your workouts and equally suited for your day-to-day tasks, ensuring you look and feel your best, no matter the occasion. It's not just clothing. It's a commitment to self-care and embracing your best self. Be the first to experience the fusion of style, comfort, and functionality. Subscribe to our VIP list and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok for insider information and exclusive perks available only on our launch day. Dive into the show notes for all the links you need. MBS Fit Co. is more than just activewear. It's a lifestyle. Join our community and be part of our exciting journey from day one to celebrate fitness, self-care, and your hero within. Don't just wear it, live it. All right, now let's dive back into this episode.
At the end of the day, when we start having those feelings, it is all part of growth, right? It is all something that is pushing us to grow in some area of life. It's something that's guiding you, right? And so it's part of you staying true to your truth and to your purpose and to your passions and into your inner power. It's all some sort of guiding light, and we can't push that aside or we'll never grow. And so we just have to become clear in our intentions and our forward path and where we're going in life, and to continue to stay loyal to ourselves, know and just know what your purpose is, even if it means sitting down and writing it out. What do I want and why? And then you go again, because what you just wrote. Now, what do you want and why? And I think that is a great, it's called Why Work. I think I've talked about this before on a pod, maybe not, I don't know. But Why Work is it helps you to get to that point of knowing what your purpose is and what you're passionate about, and staying true to that, staying true
Mm-hmm.
to that for yourself and in your relationships and your surroundings and everything that you do and say and all of your actions. Like, it's just staying true to that, because I think sometimes that's sometimes where those feelings come up is whenever we kind of start to feel like we're going backwards, or we're just trying to find out where we are. Like, we kind of feel like we're teeter-tottering between the two. And
Yeah.
so that's maybe sometimes where those feelings come from as well.
Mm-hmm. When I think it can really like affect your overall state too, because a lot of the times with growth and kind of being true to your purpose, we always look at purpose as like this big thing, like, oh, what is my life's purpose, or what am I supposed to be doing? And sometimes in certain seasons of your life, it's literally just being still. And I've had that kind of happen to where I was like, man, I just feel like I'm looking for my purpose in life. And I really beat myself up on that. But really, that was my season to just be still and to really look kind of further in.
Mhm.
And that's where I had to change, was because I was so worried about the outside that I was not focusing on myself as far as like my own desires, needs, wants, and digging into my purpose at that time was just to listen and not
Mhm.
to search. And so sometimes that's it too. We let our mind kind of take off, and we're looking for all these big signs, and what should I be doing? And really it's just don't do anything. You just have to sit to be with yourself, and to start to self-love, self-worth, like, because you can't receive any of those things if you're not ready. And so a lot of that growth process happens. And it's so hard because it's like, I don't want to sit still. Like, I want to go do this and this and this. And
Mhm.
and it's just all that energy and all of that, you're trying to
Have
have a
control.
breakthrough moment. Yeah. And it's just, you have to let it go. Yeah.
For me, it's the control part. And that
Mm-hmm.
was what was my biggest learning, was, and when I have had my biggest breakthroughs in my life, was when I stopped trying to control and I just surrendered
Mm-hmm.
and just gave not gave up, but gave in.
Yeah.
That's when I've had my biggest turning points in my life and my biggest breakthroughs, my biggest aha moments,
Mm-hmm.
and the biggest times when things just started falling into place was when I stopped trying to be in control.
Yeah. Every time. We just learn after the fact, after all the stressing and worrying. And so
Okay,
it is.
so we didn't talk about this, that we were gonna, should I read what I wrote yesterday?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's a perfect setting for that.
So yesterday afternoon, y'all, I woke up yesterday morning, and that's partially why we decided to talk about this today, was because it was something that Mandy and I have had conversation about over the last week or so. This conversation just keeps coming up for us, just about growth in general, and channeling our power and all of these different things. And yesterday morning, I woke up with these thoughts in my mind that it just all day long, over and over and over again. So finally, yesterday afternoon, I think it was about 2, 3 o'clock, I sat down and wrote it out, because I was like, I can't shake this and I have to put it on paper. And so after I was done, I texted to Mandy and I'm like, I hope this helps you because with what all you're going through, I'm like, because it helps me, because It kind of just, it's an analogy that that came to me yesterday that I couldn't shake. So let me just read it. It might take me a minute because it's kind of long, but we have a little bit of time. So I titled it Growth is Weird. It says, at times, it feels like a pull from within that you can't quite put your finger on or describe. At times, it feels like you're questioning your whole life, past, present, and future. At times, it feels like you're searching and digging for answers. I'm going to cry reading
I know,
this. Why?
I seen it.
Don't. Y'all know I'm such a big titty baby. I cry over everything. Okay. At times, it feels like you're searching and digging for answers. At times, it feels very painful, sometimes in a physical pain, and others in a deep internal, mental, and emotional way. At times, it feels like you're very lonely, like there's no one else in the world who understands you or what you're feeling. At times, it feels paralyzing, like you're completely numb or hazy, like you're going through the motions, but your mind and soul are having an out of body experience. But at times, it also feels exhilarating. Everything is crystal clear and you're on top of the world. At times, it feels peaceful, like everything is calm and tranquil. At times, it feels powerful, like you've had an awakening. Everything is aligning and you're living through the vibrations and you feel unstoppable. At times, it feels rewarding when you can look back in awe of how far you've come and how beautifully everything was orchestrated. The best way to describe all of this is like being in the ocean with the waves. When you first step in, you feel the pull of the waves coming on shore, pulling at your feet, sinking them slightly into the sand. So you slowly start to walk further into the ocean. Whoosh. You begin to wonder just how far out you can go and what it would be like to get past the waves where the water becomes calm. Looking back and then looking forward again, you continue to walk further. Whoosh. The first wave hits you, and you try to ground yourself and you push through it, not allowing it to knock you over. You begin to question if you should keep going or turn around. Whoosh. My whoosh is terrible. The next wave hits and it hurts. It takes you down and you're struggling to come back up for air. You're questioning everything. Is this pain all worth it? Why am I doing this to myself? Why? Whoosh. Just as you're catching your breath again, the wave comes. You look back and around and realize you're all alone and there's no one to save you. You're scared and lonely. Whoosh. You're taken under again, hard this time. You fight and fight to come back up. And as soon as your head is above the water, without even getting a whole breath, whoosh, another one hits again. You feel paralyzed. You're fighting for your life and you feel like you've completely left your body and you're just going through the motions in survival mode. And all of a sudden you come to whoosh. You look around and that wave was behind you this time. The water around you is calm and you made it to the other side. It's exhilarating. The water is crystal clear and you feel like you're on top of the world. Whoosh in the distance. You lay there in the calm, floating, listening to the sound of the waves.
Mhm. Yeah.
That hits y'all because that's where I'm at. Just so you know. Okay, I'm going to start over. You lay there in the calm, floating, listening to the sounds of the waves behind you. And you feel at peace because of your victory over triumph. Whoosh. You're ready to get back to solid ground, but this time you have no fear. You start swimming towards the shore. Whoosh. The wave hits you from behind, slightly taking over you, but you come back up quickly with ease. I've got this. I am powerful. Whoosh. Another wave. You swim with it. You feel in complete control. You feel alive. I am unstoppable. I am confident. Whoosh. The wave moves with you. You feel it taking you along. You're totally aligned and feeling the water guide you to exactly where you want to be. I am worthy. Whoosh. You glide on shore. You stand and slowly walk out of the water. Whoosh. The last bit of wave hits your feet. You stop, turn around, and look back. I did it. Those words are hard to say.
Mm-hmm.
I did it. I am so proud of myself. You take a moment to reflect on the experience, the doubts, the fear, the pain, the suffering, the strength, the excitement, the peace. You're in awe of how far you've come. You can finally see that the same waves that you thought were holding you back and drowning you are the same waves that guided you to exactly where you were meant to be. Whoosh. You turn and walk back on shore, taking a deep breath. There's no turning back. I love me, and I am ready. Growth is weird, but it is the most beautiful, rewarding, and life-changing experience you'll ever have. So don't be afraid of growth. Lean in, follow the pull. It's your intuition, it's the universe, and it's guiding you just like the waves. The end.
Oh, it's that
That
last
was
part that gets me every
I know.
time.
So that was my thoughts yesterday that I had to put on paper. Where that came from yesterday is beyond me, but I guess it's just all everything that I have been experiencing and feeling over the last 2 years. And I guess for whatever reason, that analogy just all came to me yesterday. If that's the best way for me to describe to someone in the physical what
Mm-hmm.
it has all felt like mentally and emotionally and spiritually, what that growth process feels like. So, if you're at any part of that process, if you're feeling any sort of pull, if you're at any, part of going through the waves and going through the motions of growth, just know that it's all for a reason. It's all for a purpose. And especially if you're in the part where you feel like you're struggling and you're battling, just know that all of the battles and all of the struggles that you are having now are all because they are pushing you to get to bigger and better and more peaceful and successful and happier and exciting place in life, an exciting side. And that one day, even though none of it makes sense right now, and even though you're
Mm-hmm.
questioning everything right now, that one day you will be able to look back and see and realize that it was all worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Those same struggles were the things that were getting you into a much better place in life.
Yeah, that's that part because it's all preparing you and to look back and to see now what it was for. It's just
It's
so,
the
so
look back.
powerful. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I guess that wraps up our episode today. Mandy was worried about her crying on today's
I know.
episode, and I told her, I was like, "You come on, that's if it's because it's real." And I was like, I'm the biggest titty baby. I cry all the time. I wasn't expecting to cry today, but here we are. Yeah, Pam cries again.
I'm so glad you read
Gonna
it though.
start
It
keeping
really was
tally.
a perfect episode for it.
Okay. Thanks for listening, y'all. I hope that y'all enjoyed this episode. I hope that our words were able to lift you up and encourage you in some way. And if it wasn't meant for you, but you know someone it was meant for, please share it with them. And if you have a moment, we would absolutely love it if you could also leave us a review on the show. And if you don't already know, we also do have the Finding My Best Self podcast community on Facebook. The link is in the show notes. We would love for you to be part of this community with us. We post them there pretty much every day. And we also post spoiler little teasers for each
Mm-hmm.
upcoming episode before they come out in there, and just tons of encouragement and stuff like that. And just one last reminder, MBS Fit Co. Go find us on TikTok and Facebook, Instagram, all the good stuff. Give us some feedback. Check out our TikTok shop. We would love just feedback all the way around as we continue to grow our brand. And last but not least, as always, you are strong, you are capable, and you are worthy. We love you and we're endlessly rooting for you. We'll catch y'all next time.
Well, that's a wrap on today's episode of Finding My Best Self. It's been real. It's been fun. We hope you found a piece of your story in ours and feel a little more inspired to chase after your best self.
And don't forget to share this episode with someone who needs a little boost today or a good laugh. And make sure to subscribe to our podcast so you never miss an episode.
Nothing says owning your confidence like a new outfit from MBS Fit Co. Check out the show notes for the link to shop our luxury athleisure. Go ahead, girl. Treat yourself.
And if you've got a story to share or a topic you're dying for us to cover, drop us a line. Our email is in the show notes. Just reach out and let's keep the conversation going.
So until next time, keep owning your confidence, embracing the chaos, and remember, the best version of you is just an episode away.
And again, we love you and we're endlessly rooting for you.